Hello and welcome to my second video about comic wedding dresses. Do not worry if you didn't see the first one. It is unnecessary. You do not need to watch it. The first 3 dresses in this video are going to be dresses that were cut from last video, and then after that I will be getting into some suggested dresses. If you want to suggest a dress to appear in the next video, hypothetically, then please put it in the comments down below. So let's not waste any more time. Let's get right into it with Storm. I possibly don't have anything to say about this dress actually, just because it is so perfect. I adore it. I love that it is not your traditional white dress at all, but even in color, because Storm's hair is white, I think putting her in a white dress might have looked like too much of one color. So I like that they opted for this cream, almost yellow, especially since apparently the wedding's happening at sunset or sunrise. Really works. I love the slit. It is sexy, but it is not gratuitous. We're not seeing a lot of anything. It just adds to the sort of wrapped look the skirt has. The skirt's also very long, and I would love to see it in motion, but I was not able to find any panels of it in motion. Maybe I'm just missing something. Moving on, there's this amazing beaded corset. You can see it really well here. Stunning. I am obsessed. She's marrying a king, right? She's becoming a queen, and this corset is just really gorgeous. It looks so good. This beaded off the shoulder situation with the gold is gorgeous. Do feel like she could have pulled up the dress maybe a little. She trusts that dress with her life, but also she is a goddess, so who am I to judge? I'm trying to think of literally if I have anything to say bad about this, but I do not. It is perfect. So let's stop wasting time and immediately move it to S tier. Next up on our list, we have the lovely Starfire in her marriage to Dick Grayson, or Nightwing. I do love her dearly, so I may or may not be incredibly heavily biased. I also really like this style of dress. I say that, and it's 2 completely different dresses. Why does this keep happening? Why do the covers always have completely different dresses from, the inside? What's going on with that? But no, I like this, fitted bodice off the shoulder. It's simple, but it's classy, and I bet you it was pretty expensive. I mean, look at that extra fabric on that skirt. That was money. Star has fallen victim to the no accessories, but I don't know. I don't think I need them as much with this dress. I mean, obviously you can't wear gloves with it. A necklace would be nice, but she's got a great neck. She wants to show it off. Okay. And then I do in this version, we have the flowers in her hair. I'm just assuming here, because she's getting dressed, she doesn't have the flowers yet, okay? We're giving her excuses. Now, I do really, really love this dress. It is genuinely a really pretty dress. One small problem. Does it read as Starfire? I don't know. I think it does, but I think you could put this dress on any comic character and it would really work, just because of how nice and simple and classic it is. There are very few characters who I think you could put in this dress and it would look off. Just thinking specifically about who Starfire is, she is younger. She's part of the Teen Titans, okay? So in this, she's probably early 20s. So she's a younger person. She's an alien space princess, which is a lot. She's a very bubbly, very sweet person, and she's marrying a very rich person. So money's not an issue at all. And if anything, as a princess, she might be expecting a certain amount of wealth from a wedding. So I did want to present 2 possible alternatives, which I think would have fit Star better, just to help visualize what I'm talking about when I say this is very basic. Here are two different options I've got. This one on the right is my favorite because I think it is bubbly, it is fun, it is cute, and it is high fashion. So as a supermodel, it makes sense for her to be wearing that. As a teen titan, it makes sense for her to be wearing that. As a superhero, she could fly around in this. It's a short skirt. She could fight. She should get some moves on. And then on the left, we have, if we want to go full alien princess, like, give her something from, oh no, what planet is she from? Tamaran? Give her something alien. Give her something weird. Star has a lot of interesting shapes to her, especially when her hair was full fluff like this. So I think leaning into interesting shapes is the way to go. Give her a fun silhouette. These sleeves, like, would look so cool if she was flying around. And you just have to picture that this is, like, red on the bottom, not blue. So yeah, these are my two options for Star. I guess let me know if you think either of these two options would be better, or if this dress you think is her perfect dress. So, popping over to the ranking board, I am having a hard time ranking Star's dress, just because it's a great dress. I love the dress. I don't know if I love it for her. I think I'm going to put her in B, just because it is a solid dress. You know, she gets a passing grade on that. She gets an S on just the dress alone. I love the dress. But then she has no accessories. Well, she has the flowers, but, like, she doesn't have a veil. She doesn't have a tiara. Boring. And it fits her character, but it doesn't really show us anything about her character. And it doesn't do anything fun with, like, her really unique design. Star has an interesting color palette, so it's kind of disappointing that you just put her in white. So I'm going to give it a B, maybe leaning a little into C. It's a dress that does its job and nothing much else. Now it's time for our final wedding dress of the day, and oh my gosh, is an amazing one to end on. I love this dress, and I don't know how much of my love for this dress is entirely in the veil scarf situation. Holy shit, she looks so hot. Okay, one, she's gloves. Love it. I've been asking for so many of these girls to add gloves, and she looks killer in them. Her veil is not a veil, but instead the sort of, like, scarf situation that she has tied around her hair. On any other girl, this would have looked bad, but with her giant fluffy orange hair, it looks amazing. I do find it interesting that the veil seems to continuously be defying gravity, but seeing as though she has powers of telekinesis, I 100% buy the fact that she is fully in control of the veil and her hair and just making it look that good. I love the cut of the dress. It has this, like, trumpet at the bottom, which is very cute, very sexy. It has no back, it seems. Cyclops could move his goddamn hands. I could see better. Maybe the only thing I don't like about it is the neckline is a lot. And I know, Jean does not mind being sexy, but I just don't know if she would commit this much. I almost wish that, like, this shape here just kind of continued up and into the scarf situation. I think that would have been really cute. I'm a little confused by what these diamond shapes are, but it doesn't hurt the design. In fact, she looks so snatched. So, you know, if it works, it works. This was an amazing one to end on because it truly is, in my opinion, one of the best comic book wedding dresses out there. So for that, I'm gonna have to put her up with the other redhead marrying a superpowered brunette in S tier. Our next wedding dress was not one that anyone suggested, but it was one that I feel, you know, it was a mistake of me to neglect, because I do believe this was one of the first superhero weddings. So, pretty important, just historically, Aquaman is a married superhero who got married in his comic book. Like, he wasn't introduced married, he got married. That's fun, that's really unique, and he was basically the first mainstream superhero to do that, which we love. We do not love the dress. More importantly, we do not love the fact that there is no dress. This is her superhero costume with a veil attached. I mean, could you be any more basic? Could you be any more boring? I didn't think you could, and then I saw in the new 52 what dress they gave her. Oh my gosh. It is like the sheerest dress I've ever seen. Her butt is so well defined under there. It is falling apart. It does not fit her. Obviously, it's meant to evoke, like, a shipwrecked woman. She's a mermaid. It makes sense. But it's just like they threw some fabric at her and went, wear that because you can't be naked. I prefer this to this. Because at least this is something. This, honestly, fits Mira, I don't know. I don't know her very well, but I know her character is, she is a queen, and she's a boss bitch, and she knows it, you know? This feels like someone who is in charge, is a queen of a nation, and doesn't have time to pick out dresses, okay? Her husband is going to be wearing his superhero suit, so she is going to be wearing her superhero suit. She doesn't have time, and she doesn't care about any of that. Pop a veil on her. Let's go. This feels like something a manic pixie dream girl would wear to her wedding, and that doesn't feel accurate to the character. I also hate that Aquaman gets to wear his giant full coverage suit. So we get to see her very well-defined ass, but he is covered head to toe, and also he didn't make an effort to change at all. What the hell, guy? So overall, this is F tier. I'm not even going to rank it. I don't think I have an image for it. We'll get to this one later. But first, I just want to show comic illustrators, like, what you can do with the concept of a mermaid wedding, because that is so fun. This is sort of what I was thinking of. There's the little tag. But more just, I don't really like this bottom bit, but this sculpted top, and then having it dripping in pearls. I think a collar like this to mimic the collar of her superhero suit would be fun. And obviously you would have to give her a tiara and whatever the hell those are supposed to be. It's not good. It is hardly a design. It does suit the character, so I guess I have to give it some points for that. But I don't know. It's definitely worse than Black Canary's dress. So I think it's gonna go solidly in E tier. Moving on, we have our first suggestion. Yay, shout out to Cynthia Cat. I did not know this wedding happened, so I would not have known to even search up this dress. Thank you for sending me this dress, though, because what the hell is happening here? Oh my god. I mean, for one, we have another example of the dress on the cover not matching the dress on the inside. This one over here is a variant cover. I'll talk about it in a second. But, like, this dress is clearly meant to be the same as this dress, but also it's not the same dress. This dress has straps and, like, this little bow on the side. There's no bow here, and there's no straps. So I don't know what to do about that. It also seems like in this image, her veil, which I don't even know how to touch on what that is, it goes down and, like, behind her here. But in this one, she just has this, like, sheer cape, which maybe is what this is? It's unclear. I do love the bouquet, though. That's a great touch. Maybe don't do that bouquet at a superhero wedding. Just saying. I know you're a supervillain and you're marrying a supervillain, but your bridesmaids are both superheroes. But okay, enough stalling. I have to address this. Apparently Destiny felt bad that none of these other superheroines had been wearing veils, and she said, "Don't worry, I will wear all the veil. I got you covered." It's so ugly. She's wearing a loofah. She has a giant loofah over her head, and all you can see is her tits. Oh god, it gets worse the more you look at it. It's really... The dress should be A tier just for how... Wow. She has a giant loofah covering her head, and then her dress, basically no coverage up top. So, she is walking down the aisle, and you cannot see her face at all. All you can see is boobies. I'm obsessed. I love it. Genuinely the funniest thing I've ever seen. Thank you so much to the person who recommended this, actually, because it made me laugh so hard when I first saw it. That's so funny. I guess I have to talk about whatever this is. It looks like her dress has feathers, which, okay, so her dress has some sort of feathered effect, and then she has a sheer cape, and then she has a lace veil. Oh my god. Wow. Now, I don't know much about Destiny. I only really know her from the TV shows, so maybe I'm missing something. But is hiding her face like a big part of her identity? Like, I know her superhero costume, she has the mask, and I guess they're mimicking the shape of the mask here, but like, it's not like she has a secret identity. She's not hiding anything. The veil doesn't actually have to fully obscure her face. That is unnecessary. I do think this is as good a time as any to move over to this variant cover, because I was laughing so hard at this. I was like, this is the stupidest shit I've ever seen. And then I scrolled one image over, and this is like the prettiest dress I've ever seen. Oh my gosh. They both look so good. I love Mystique's dress, which the whole thing isn't here right now, but it's clearly a direct homage to Mary Jane's dress. It's perfect. I love it. Fantastic. No notes. And then we get over to Destiny, and Destiny's whole thing is that she was also Irene Adler, who is like a Sherlock Holmes villain, for those of you who don't know. So the dress feels old-fashioned. It feels of the era of Sherlock Holmes, which, perfect. No notes, because that's the era she is from. That makes sense. She would still have those influences. And then we get to her veil, which is so good, not just in comparison to this awful thing. Like, you're telling me someone at the Marvel offices designed this veil, which might just be the best superhero wedding veil I've ever seen, period. Someone designed this at Marvel, and they were like, nah, let's go with the loofah. I think the loofah is what she would wear to her wedding, to Mystique. No. I mean, I don't even think I need to explain why these two wedding dresses are, like, two of the best wedding dresses I've ever seen in comics. I think it's pretty clear to see why. They both have gloves. They are both wearing gloves, and they don't both have necklaces, but, like, they got things on their necks. I'm so sorry, but I love these two dresses so much, and I will continue to ignore the loofah, and I will also ignore whatever the hell they have my girl Mystique wearing. What the fuck is that? It not only is it a not well-fitting suit, like, this is not a tailored suit that, like, cinches in and is sexy or whatever. This is a boring basic suit like my dad would wear, with a weird pattern on it that I don't know what that is. And then she's got, like, this ugly belt and a lesbian bun. That sounded mean, but, like, I fear that whoever designed these two dresses fell into the trap that, like, in the lesbian couple, there always has to be the femme one and there always has to be the mask one. Destiny and Mystique are both very femme. They would both wear dresses. Neither of them is wearing a suit. If either is wearing a suit, I would argue it'd be Destiny. This is awful. This is awful. And this is amazing. And that breaks my heart. You're telling me my lesbians had two amazing dresses and you gave them this? Also, Rogue, what the hell are you wearing? I don't think I even need to explain further. Thank you to whoever suggested that. That was so awful. That was so bad. That is F tier. Because you showed me that you could have designed two amazing dresses. If that other dress was like a canon dress that exists, that'd be S tier. Easily. It'd be S tier. But for now, Destiny, you are an F tier with your wife. Have fun. Keeping it in the family, for our final wedding dress of the video, we have Rogue in her marriage to Gambit. This was suggested by this user right here, Bumblebees. They also suggested that I do Starfire's dress. I had already done that one, so I hope just Rogue is okay. So let's talk about my girl Rogue, because her wedding situation is interesting, and I think gives necessary context to why she has 3 dresses. Well, it doesn't really, but it gives some context. So if you remember from my first video, Kitty, her wedding did not go through. She was gonna get married, she had a decently cute outfit, and she decided against that, ran off, and what happens is that Gambit is like, you know what, everyone's here, Rogue, let's get married. Let's go, let's do this. And I was like, okay, this works for me. So that means that this dress she's wearing here is not actually a dress she picked out for her wedding. This dress was her bridesmaid dress. I don't know if she was actually a bridesmaid, but this was the dress she was wearing to Kitty's wedding. Also, pretty sure this is Kitty's veil. This is Kitty's ugly, awful veil. It looks better on Rogue, but because that just means Rogue walked up to the altar, took Kitty's veil, and put it in her hair. Like, that's kind of funny. But okay, so this, I guess I can't go too hard on it because it wasn't the dress she intended to get married in. It was an accident. But also, it's a pretty nice wedding dress. I know it's not white or whatever, but I don't really care about that, and I feel Rogue also wouldn't care. I think it fits her. She's got gloves, she's got a veil that's stolen, which I guess extra credit. She does have a necklace, which we won't talk about. But the dress is cute. It's got a cute neckline, it's fitted, so it's like a little sexy, a little fun. It's not overly feminine, but it's not like masculine, very structured, anything like that. This solid dress. And then we do have 2 different variant cover dresses. This is done by the artist who also did a variant cover for Kitty's dress, and I feel it is basically the same dress as Kitty's dress, but they added lace from here to her hands so that way she can, you know, tap that ass. I like this dress fine. I just don't know if Rogue would wear this fitted mermaid style. This dress I can give some leeway because it does look like she actually move in it. This dress I feel like she'd be complaining about the entire time. That'd be annoying for everyone. I also do want to acknowledge that someone in the comments on the last video thought Kitty's dress was an homage to MJ's dress, and I think you can make the same argument that this being a mermaid style dress with like the lace detailing is also an homage, but like at that point every dress is an homage to MJ's dress. So I don't know, I guess it's up to interpretation. Also, this image also seems like she stole Kitty's veil. This is the same goddamn veil. Poor Kitty had this one really ugly thin veil, and this other veil which had great shape, but just, it was solid. It looked heavy. So poor Kitty had such an awful time with her veils. And then Rogue just steals all of them. And I love that. She should continue to steal people's veils. I think that's fun. It also would be wrong to ignore Gambit's outfit because even though he is not the bride, he is still a queen. So we have to acknowledge that. This outfit is kind of insane. But you know, he's going for something. I guess it feels like something Gambit would wear. We're gonna move on from it because the tight leather pants are making me uncomfortable, actually. And then finally, we have this dress over here from the Mr. and Mrs. X series. This dress is basic and boring and kind of femme, and I'm just not in love with it. I think it's cute. It's giving old-fashioned. It's kind of giving 50s. And I like that it seems to me, instead of a veil, she had some sort of scarf or shawl. I also love her hair. She looks good. The dress, no. But I think that's kind of the joke. Like, both of these are very stereotypical looking wedding outfits. I do have to say, I love the pink details on Gambit's outfit. I think that works really well. So, overall, I kind of have to pick one of these dresses, which I think is the best, and which I'm going to actually put on my ranking board, and the dress I think is the best, is her bridesmaid dress, aka the dress that is not her wedding dress, but is sort of her wedding dress, and we don't need to talk about that. I mean, I just think it shows that she picked the dress because she liked the dress. She felt comfortable in it, and she didn't have the pressure of it being like a wedding dress. So I'm happy for her. Also, she looks so hot in it. Oh my god, look at this panel. Look at this woman's arms. And I am going to put this dress in... This dress is going right in between A and B tier for me. That's where it's going. That's its home. Because I can't put it too high, because it also technically is not a wedding dress. Okay? But also, that's kind of embarrassing for everyone under her. Like, damn. She really outdressed you in her bridesmaid dress. So this is my final ranking of all the wedding dresses from both of the videos now. If you have any wedding dresses from comic books that you would like me to talk about, please put them in the comments below. Or you can also tell me about your favorite comic wedding dresses. Or you can also tell me about how you very strongly disagree with some of my choices. I've been loving all the comments that are like, wow, this is a really great video. You're wrong about all of them. Like, come on guys, I want to be seeing other people's rankings. We've got to create a group consensus, figure out overall what everyone agrees to be the best comic book wedding dress.